It's not often that a side quest grabs your attention as much as the ones in Ghost of Tsushima do. And it's even rare that side quests create genuine emotional resolution within the main story, not by escalating the plot, but reframing how you understand the protagonist. Specifically, I want to talk about the first side quest for Yuriko in Act 2, The Proud Do Not Endure. This quest takes less than 30 minutes, and yet it quietly delivers one of the strongest thematic messages in the entire game. And honestly, one of the strongest reflections on identity, expectation, and letting go that I've seen in any video game. For me, this side quest hits so well because it's so similar to Zuko's arc in Avatar the Last Airbender, a show I watched as a child and have appreciated more and more into adulthood. In this comparison, Jin is Zuko, a man raised inside a rigid moral framework, struggling under the weight of inherited honor and expectations he never chose. And Yuriko is Iroh, a patient, compassionate presence who never forces change, but makes it possible. A quick warning before we continue, this video will contain spoilers for Ghost of Tsushima and will discuss Zuko's entire arc in Avatar. You have been warned. At the start of Ghost of Tsushima, Jin's understanding of honor comes almost entirely from Lord Shimura. Honor is rule-bound. You face your enemy directly. You do not deceive. You accept death if necessary because dying honorably is preferable to winning dishonorably. Jin doesn't simply follow this code, he is defined by it. To abandon it would mean abandoning the version of himself he believes he's meant to be. This places him in nearly the same emotional position as Zuko, particularly in Book 1, Episode 12, The Storm. In that episode, we learn the truth behind Zuko's scar and banishment. His crime wasn't cruelty or weakness, it was compassion. He spoke out of turn in a war meeting, questioning the sacrifice of a few soldiers. For that, Ozai branded him a dishonorable failure. From that moment forward, Zuko treats honor as something lost, something that must be reclaimed through obedience and achievement. He believes that capturing the Avatar will restore not just his status, but his sense of self. Jin watches his father die in front of him, frozen by fear. He's only a boy when it happens, but he internalizes that moment as a failure. If he had been stronger, braver, more honorable, maybe he could have saved him. Lord Shimura's rules and traditions become Jin's way of believing that nothing like this will ever happen again. If he follows the samurai code perfectly, if he never hesitates, then maybe he can avoid reliving that fear. So Jin blindly follows Lord Shimura's idealized version of honor, not just out of belief, but out of self-preservation. In both stories, honor is not moral clarity. It is external validation, a rigid expectation imposed by authority figures, Ozai for Zuko, Shimura for Jin, that promises inner peace if followed perfectly. Neither character is ready to be told this framework is flawed, and both nearly break themselves trying to live up to it. That's why Yuriko and Iroh matter so much. When Zuko is banished, Iroh is the only family member who truly accepts him. His mother, who loved him unconditionally, is gone. His sister stands beside their father, both looking down on him with disdain. But Zuko sees Iroh as a general that had failed in his siege at Ba Sing Se, who had also lost his honor and also his son, so Zuko believes that anything Iroh says or does will not grant Zuko's lost honor back to him. It's useless advice from another disgraced member of the Fire Nation. Zuko repeatedly dismisses Iroh's teaching, culminating in Book 2's finale, The Crossroads of Destiny, when Zuko sides with Azula and betrays his uncle's advice and fights Aang and Katara with Azula. Iroh defends Aang and is captured, which forces Zuko to confront a painful truth. The version of honor he's been chasing may not be the one he actually wants. That realization only lands because Zuko understands too late that Iroh is the only family member who truly loved him. Betraying the one person who cared for him without condition sends Zuko into disarray. He returns home but feels like an outsider. He is unhappy, guilty, and deeply conflicted. Slowly, he begins to understand that destiny and honor aren't things that can be given to you by someone else. They are things that you have to decide for yourself. And that understanding is unlocked by the patience and compassion Iroh showed him, never forcing the lesson, allowing Zuko to arrive at it on his own. In Ghost of Tsushima, Lord Shimura becomes Jin's father figure after his real father dies. Jin is traumatized by that loss and latches onto Shimura's perceived strength, believing it will ease his pain and make his father proud. But when Jin bends the samurai code, using stealth and deception to defeat the Mongols and rescue Shimura, he doesn't receive the reaction he expects. Shimura is thankful, but disappointed. He tells Jin never to stray from the samurai code again. This is the first real crack in Jin's understanding of honor. Jin believed his actions were honorable because they saved lives. Surely the outcome justified the methods. But being rejected by the only family figure he has left mirrors Zuko's rejection by Ozai, and it cuts just as deeply. It's after this moment that Jin reunites with Yuriko, the woman who helped raise him and is one of the last connections he has to his life before everything changed. Yuriko wonders aloud what Jin's father would think of the ghost, and Jin answers immediately and firmly. His father would disapprove, just like his uncle. But Yuriko gently disagrees. She tells Jin that his father and uncle actually argued often, that his father thought Shimura was too rigid, willfully blind to other possibilities, that his father had imagination. And then she says something crucial. You like him in more ways than you know. That knowledge reframes everything for Jin. It shows him that his uncle's interpretation of honor is not the only one that exists. And more importantly, it gives Jin relief, not because he's been absolved, but because he realizes he may not be failing his father after all. That he can potentially define his own destiny and honor away from Shimura's tradition. This moment matters because, like Iroh, Yuriko genuinely cares about Jin, not about legacy, not about reputation, but about him. Ozai never cared about Zuko, and Shimura, despite his love, values the code more than Jin's survival. Shimura would rather Jin die honorably than continue down the path he is. Yuriko's guidance comes from care, not expectation, and that makes all the difference. Zuko receives a nearly identical revelation from Iroh in Book 3, Episode 6, The Avatar and the Fire Lord. In that episode, Iroh tells Zuko that while he is descended from Fire Lord Azulon through his father, he is also the great-grandson of Avatar Roku through his mother. Zuko has spent his entire life believing that he is broken because he cannot live up to Ozai's expectations. But this revelation reframes everything. His compassion, his doubt, his resistance to cruelty aren't defects, they're part of his lineage too. What Zuko thought was betrayal to his character may actually be alignment to his true nature. Jin experiences that same shift through Yuriko. He believes he's betraying his father by becoming the ghost, just as Zuko believes he is betraying Ozai by questioning the Fire Nation. But Yuriko and Iroh, the family they chose, not the family that they fear, offer the same quiet truth. You are not failing. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. You can even see the impatience that characterized so much of Zuko's arc within the quest when Yuriko asks to sit with Jin by the lake. She asks to sit and rest. The quest pauses. There's no objective, just a quiet moment. But Jin urges her onward, saying there will be time to rest after the war. That impatience mirrors Zuko almost perfectly in Book 2, Episode 7, Zuko Alone. In that episode, Zuko is removed from the chase entirely. He helps a village, saves a family, and briefly does something good, only to be rejected once they learn he's a firebender. His good deeds are punished. The stillness and time he has to reflect causes him even more pain. He tried something different and was burned for it. And so Zuko can't sit with himself because stillness threatens the narrative he's built around regaining honor. Iroh spends the entire series urging Zuko to slow down, to drink tea, to rest, to think. Zuko resists because how can he reclaim his honor if he's not actively pursuing the Avatar? Jin urging Yuriko onward isn't cruelty, it's just conditioning. Stillness feels irresponsible when your identity is built around duty. The title of the quest, The Proud Do Not Endure, is almost directly assigned to the turning point of Jin regaining the power over his own destiny. Yuriko's talk with him is a turning point to Jin believing that Lord Shimura's ways will not let the people of Tsushima survive, so Jin chooses his own path. At its core, this is a story about letting go of what others expect of you, letting go of destinies you never chose, and finding meaning not in perfectly performing a role, but in choosing for yourself what truly matters. For Jin, it's doing anything and everything in his power to save the people of Tsushima, honor be damned. And for Zuko, it's restoring balance to the world and ending the Fire Nation's oppression of the other kingdoms. It's a reminder that we don't need to force ourselves into whatever box we think we're supposed to fit into. Sometimes the most important thing we can do is step away and find our own path. And the fact that this information, this revelation, is all part of a side quest show the vast depth of Ghost of Tsushima. It shows that it is possible to make meaningful story growth outside of the main questline through proper storytelling and character growth. This quest is so simple, easily missed, and yet so beautiful. It's a reminder that we need to sit and think about what truly matters to us, not what matters to anybody else. That is the only way that we can be truly fulfilled in our destinies. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps me and the channel, and let me know down below in the comments what your favorite side quest in a game is. And until next time, take it easy and game on.